Hi,
I'm Brianna O'Keefe.
and I'm Gabe.
And this is Cougar News Now. If you didn't already know, November is National Adoption Month. That's why this week's broadcast is dedicated to adoption. Many people are not very informed about adoption. What about you? Well, our first broadcast is brought to you by Chris Phillips and Benny Brewer. It's about what people know about adoption.
Who didn't know? There are some students at our school who are adopted. Krista Braxton and Taylor Ramsey decided to interview a few of them and find out their experiences as an adopted.
My name is Chris Phillips, and since it's Adoption Awareness Month, I'm going to go ask student and teachers what their thoughts are on it.
I think of getting somebody out of a bad place.
I think of somebody who has been in a rough situation and somebody's trying to help them out and get them in a better situation.
I don't really know much about it.
My mother and my friend Chris.
My man Chris. Oh yeah.
That we're all really angry kids and that we're all troublemakers.
I'm not as familiar with foster care as I am adoption. I've had lots of students that have been foster kids through the years here. I'd say it's a stereotype.
Mm-hmm.
A stereotype is that they're bad kids because sometimes they go to different homes, and people will assume that it's because they're not good kids.
I think for some of those folks, they feel like maybe they're just different. That could come in many forms. Not feeling like everybody else, not feeling like they belong. And I think that's what people tend to think of.
No, they just seem really surprised.
Not in my experience. Of course, remember I'm on a different side of things. So as an administrator and as a teacher, I think we always want to show love to every kid that we have, and every kid becomes our kid no matter their story anyway. So I would say no from a teacher or an administrative standpoint. I'm sure they probably felt that somewhere else, but from a teacher administrator, every kid becomes our kid. So.
Not all of them are in there because their parents have died. Some of them it's because their parents didn't take care of them.
That they want families really bad, especially before they age out of the system. I know in our case with Malawi, the kids that are not adopted by the time they're 16 end up in the sex trade industry. They end up prostitutes. So it's really, really terrible. So it's important to us for that. That's one of the reasons why it's important to us.
I would say the same thing. I think that people should know about every human being, that their story doesn't define them.
They should. It's really important to know about it.
They're both critical. Our heart is in the adoption, but we know a lot of people that are involved in foster care, and that is just as important.
Yeah, it's a really important cause because it's like a whole nother world that people don't really see in normal day-to-day society.
I do, because there are so many kids that do not have homes and they don't have parents, and more people need to be aware of that so that they can help that cause.
Yeah, for the same reasons. Imagine not having, if you've had parents, imagine not having people there to lean on and take care of and to help you in any kind of situation that you have. Doesn't matter, emotional, spiritual, physical, whatever it is. To not have somebody to go to not have just that security.
As you can see, this affects certain people differently than it does others, and how this is a not very well-known subject, and it should be well-known.
It's a girl!
I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh. You guys are parents!
I'm such a crier.
My name is Taylor Burke. I'm a junior.
Michaela Jones.
What grade are you in?
I'm an 11th grader.
Ramsey, I'm in 11th grade.
Krista Braxton, I'm also in 11th grade.
Yeah.
No.
How long have you known?
A week.
I have always known,
Yes, I've always known.
so I just knew when it happened.
Yeah, I just kind of always knew growing up. Also, I was there when I was adopted, so.
I was like 4 or 5.
When I was born.
I was 12.
I was 9.
Natalie Gray.
Yes, I was in foster care up until I got adopted.
No.
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 My aunt and uncle.
My aunt and uncle.
My stepdad.
Also, my stepdad.
Biggest
For me, it's like knowing what happened to me when I was a little kid and like everything that like my real parents did. Like that's probably the disadvantage.
I don't have a disadvantage.
I guess that you aren't really close with your biological parents, even though like you know them and they were part of your life at one point.
I've never met my real dad, so I guess just kind of always wanting to know. And
Basically the life I have now, like my aunt and uncle taking me in and seeing that someone can be better in my life instead of like all the stuff that happened to me when I was little.
That I have a family who loves me.
We have people who love us.
It's the reason why I became friends with Taylor, because we bonded over that. So,
Yeah, it is. It's the first conversation we had.
so that's my biggest advantage.
Welcome home, Natalie.
I hope today's broadcast was as educational as it was eye-opening. See you next time on Cougar News Now.